Hi, everyone. I'm Krista Rosen, and welcome to Module 3 of the Intuitive Parent course, a practical how to guide for daily life. This is Module 3, the world that we live in. A little bit about me: I'm the author of 2 self help books, an energy healer and intuitive guide. And most importantly, I'm the mom of 2 adult children that have had amazing recovery journeys. I'm here to tell you that you can do it. You have the ability, the natural ability, you've always had it, to connect to your intuition. So, why are we talking about intuition in the world that we live in? And that's because feeling safe and our desire to keep our children safe is paramount into connecting to our intuition. We can't easily and fully connect to our intuition unless if we feel safe. We can't easily and fully connect to our intuition unless we feel safe. So that's why there's a whole module about this. Most of us humans feel our mortality and our family safety are regularly threatened in daily life. We learn more and more each day about what can hurt us and impact us and our health and well being. When we become parents, as we know, this it's like a light switch, right? It just flips where we exponentially feel this threat as we become parents or responsible for a child, and this threat from the external world. And our worldview becomes forever changed because we are now considering this child that we love. My hope is that this information will help cultivate that connection to your intuition by addressing some of these foundational, very human, very normal, common concerns and blocks and limitations to our intuition having to do with the world that we live in. So this module, don't worry, it's not about positive affirmations about the world or bypassing anything. If it were only that easy to just think positively, right? Like, just think positive, everything's okay. If it was only that easy, the mental health status in our world would reflect something much different than what we have. I'm not attempting to whitewash that things are pretty chaotic. Things are pretty chaotic right now, and that is true no matter when you're listening to this. I invite you to try something different than what you're already doing and just see what happens. There's your copyright notice and terms of use here for your review. It's basically this course is for material for private use, for personal use, for you, only you. And there is no copying or sharing or using for other than just that. And so here are the terms of use here. If you have any questions about it, please let me know, and I'd be happy to work with you on that. Okay, so questions about the world that we live in. So every module has, or most of these have, these burning questions here at the beginning. And again, there's some previous modules that take you through the steps of the informed intuition method, the steps to create your health template, your templates, including your health template, steps to develop your soul drivers. And these tools are wonderful references. You can look at your companion PDF as well to help you navigate this module and connect to your intuition. So why again do we have these questions about the world that we live in? And it's because these, either build or block our intuition, our perspectives. It's one or the other. If you remember back in, biology or chemistry class back in high school, I barely can remember. But there's things are a positive charge, a negative charge, or a neutral charge. And it's the same thing for literally every thought, every feeling, every belief that we have about the world. And so just making that connection to those things and sifting and sorting through them, the ones that are really keep holding us back and limiting us from the things that we actively are seeking and desire, and our desires, and what we want to create in our lives, and how we want to resolve things that are just really just don't make us happy. So that's why we're talking about this. Using the informed intuition method, we will address these main questions that we face about how do we keep our child safe. That's the number one question that we have at the top. How do we keep my child safe? And this is always running, right? It's either subconscious or consciously. We're consciously making decisions that help keep our child safe and cultivate their um, their to them thriving. So that's the underlying theme in literally all these questions, and the questions that I don't have listed here. These are just the ones that that are common questions that I have witnessed or experienced, that I have, and so this is a good time too if you're a journaler to take out your companion PDF, and you can even jot down some of the burning questions that you have, the things that you have about the world that you want to help answer using your intuition. So we're going to talk about this safety just first and foremost right here, right now. We're going to start talking about that. We are taught from the moment that we're aware of our surroundings that the world is not safe. So much of what we learn as babies and children are the countless ways that we can be in harm's way. Looking both ways before we cross the street, always holding an adult's hand, staying on the sidewalk, within the line, staying in line, listening to authority, and so on. And as parents, we pass along these habits, consciously or unconsciously, to our children about the world. And, how many times have you heard your words that are your parents' words come out of your mouth, right? But it's something that we is kind of a universal experience, I think, as we teach our children about the world, and then we say to ourselves, "Yeah, that was great advice," or like, that doesn't really land, or that's not realistic, or that's just not the way the world is now. So much of this is happening literally as how goes along when we're not even aware of it, and we know this, and that's the case for everything, right? Not just being a parent. And so this piece is so important because safety is so unique to the individual, right? Like the things that I need, or my perspective about the world and what's safe and not safe is mine, and it's unique, I'm sure, to yours and anybody else's, and it doesn't make it less valid or true. Whatever it is for you is your reality, and that's your truth. So, but the good news is that we can examine it, and we can clear the things that we don't really want anymore, or that we don't believe anymore, and then create new ways to live and new perspectives. So, which again, bolster and build that connection to your intuition, which is why you're here. So, interestingly, another thing to say about this is that there are only two fears that we're born with, two innate fears. Can you believe that? If you've had psychology in school or read about this or something, like when I learned this like 10 years ago, I couldn't believe it. Like, is that really true? That's amazing. But it's true. You can look it up that there's only two innate fears that we're born with. So the first one is the fear of loud noises. So if you think of a child and you clap, you can do a loud clap behind their head when they're an infant, or if they hear a pop or a snap, or a car exhaust boom, or a firecracker, or any kind of sudden loud noise, they'll start to cry, right? A baby, they're born with that. They as an infant, we're not telling them be afraid of these things. They're born with it. It's an innate fear. And also the next one is the fear of falling. So if you think about a child, they'll automatically brace themselves, or when they're learning how to walk, they will like hold out their hands, or they'll cry when they fall because they're afraid, of what happened. And so those are the only two that we're born with. And guess what? The rest of them are learned, learned in our environment, learned, that's why babies need parents. And why we have all these fears is this huge, huge database of fears that some are valid, of course, and then others are not. A lot of them have to do with the future or the past, and not the present moment. So, yeah, it's so interesting, I think. So anyway, So that question, so let me go back to this one more time here. So I didn't read these through if you haven't. But these are some of these main questions that we can then return to and evaluate once we've gone through this module to see if these land better, if they seem easier to understand and not less overwhelming to understand. So how do I manage so many unknown variables? Again, that's that future, right? How can I navigate things such as AI and media? How do I understand the challenges of the new normal? What do I do to support my sensitive child? How do I navigate fear and overwhelm with authority figures, and weather and police and government? How do I regulate my child's individual needs outside of my home? How do I optimize my child's experience at school? How do I understand and navigate social dynamics? How do I navigate detecting unhealthy patterns? What's healthy and unhealthy in this world? So, these are things that are very common. I know you have your unique questions and unique fears, perhaps, in your situation. And feel free to take note of those. We have that companion PDF, or if you want to use your phone notes or your computer, or if you're a note taker and you like paper to pen, whatever works for you, or just in your head. If you have it all, you can have it all sorted. And remember, everybody's different. So go ahead and do that. And so, looking both ways, I think, I did share all that. Okay. Consciously and unconsciously we're passing these things along, and the two innate fears. Okay. So we did talk about that. All right. So how do I keep my child safe? So step one of the informed intuition method, that's in the previous module. You can list, this is a slide. And again, it's in your companion PDF. There's more there, where you can make a list of these main concerns and fears. And I know this is not a fun thing, and a lot of it's like things that are like perhaps imagined, or that we feel that we are catastrophizing, or but it's all valid, whatever they are. They are, because they're yours. If they're your fears, they perhaps are distracting your nervous system. They're giving you anxiety. They're keeping you from feeling grounded and safe, where you can make decisions. But they're yours, and that's okay. We all have these fears. And so what you want to do is, just like in these other decisions that we have to make in these other modules, and the ones moving that we're going to be moving into, is that you want to list your main concerns. And this may take a while. Do this at a pace that's right for you. You may want to put them in these 3 categories that I have for you as an example. This is what helps me to kind of wordsmith and workshop this out. Present moment or immediate danger or threat, like what's going on right now, such as shifts in your neighborhood or community, an illness or a stressor, in work or something, or at home, or just tense or unkind interactions that are going on, schools feeling stretched or overwhelmed, peer dynamics, screen time, outside influences, feeling a lack of support for yourself or for your child, or just a lack of connection to nature. Perhaps that's not something that's been accessible. So these are some examples of things that you may not feel safe when it comes to your child. And I'm sure you have so many, and it's a good time, if you want, you can pause and you can take a look and write those down. Write the things that are a concern, and out of your head and onto the paper, or wherever. The next category is possible danger or threat. So these are the things how things could turn out, like playing it out, different scenarios, different options, one way or the other. What path do you follow? And there's things in the world, this is that, that we see, we see things that happen, then we have a perspective, right? We take a side, or we take, and we have an opinion about whatever that's going on in the world, and also events, right? Events in the world, and alternative and possible events, whatever it may be. So rising costs or shifting financial needs. changes in roles or family responsibilities. You might suddenly have a ton of responsibility, like at work or at home. Homework, home or car repair. So, like different costs that might be coming up, financial stressors, school or home changes that could affect opportunities, worries about having less time or presence with your children, or kids or child. So these are all possible things that could happen. So those are might be things that make you feel uneasy, insecure, not safe, right? And those that affects everything, right? Just quality of life, everything helps us. It helps. It limits and kind of shrinks that pathway to our intuition when we have all of this running in the background in our nervous system. Next is the future danger or threat. So something that's like real that could possibly happen in the future. If there's like the tension or unrest in the world, staying safe in public systems, future caregiving roles, wondering how past decisions will shape the future, how are things going to turn out, and then other fears about unforeseen events impacting well-being or stability. So what these things are, and it's very brave and courageous of you, A, to even be taking this course, but B, to just be reflecting on these things. And these are just your thoughts. Nobody else has to know about them, and they're yours and your own, and there's no shame or blame in whatever it is that you're afraid of. Like, who cares? Everybody has fears, and you have a right to feel the way that you do. So, but then you also have the power within you to change some of these things that are really distracting you, causing you just a lot of stress and worry. And so hopefully this will help you, this module. All right, so moving on to the next slide. Here we go. So it's just like the previous modules, we'll be doing some belief work. This exercise, you can just sit back and allow these beliefs to clear. Here in the corner is these upward arrows, which is my symbol for clearing limiting beliefs that do not serve you, that are not who you are, that you don't really believe in, but they've been just your operating system for so long, and they're just limiting your connection to your intuition. So these all carry these fear-based beliefs carry a negative charge. They carry a lower vibration that just lowers our overall vibration, and which then again limits our connection to our intuition. So hopefully, if you clear some of these, it may cause that list that we just went through in your own personal list. It may cause that list to feel smaller or more manageable by clearing some of these things. So, and then again, beliefs aren't permanent; they can be changed. They um, they carry just that energetic charge, a vibration, just like thoughts and emotions do. Like, we know that we've had emotions before, and they don't always stay, right? I mean, sometimes they do. There's some, but you might feel a certain emotion and then it passes, right? And so you can do that with thoughts and also beliefs. It's just energy. It's That's what it is. And so it's something that we can change. They're not static. So the main takeaway is that it's harder to receive and connect to your intuition and receive that clarity and insight and answers when you have these beliefs, these fear-based beliefs that are like running the show and distracting you. It's harder to receive when these are a prominent energy. So just like before, just close your eyes. You can put your hands over your heart. You can tap if you'd like, along if you like, on your wrist or your abdomen, over your head, your forehead, wherever, or not tap. You can just mentally just allow them to go, and you can just listen to my words or read along, whatever works for you. Okay, here we go. It's a crazy world. My child is not safe. My child is not secure. Kids can't be kids anymore. My child has a dim future. I have nothing to show for all my hard work, no legacy or inheritance. The world is dangerous and scary. I can't let go of control. I am responsible. I feel guilty all of the time. I'm inadequate at keeping my child safe. A great education and school experience in this world just isn't possible. Yay, you did it. So imagine if you're putting out there that your kid has a dim future, or the school system sucks, or that your child isn't safe. And those things may be true or to some degree, but if you're putting it out there and continuing to think of those things, that's what the energy you're putting out there, and that's what is received by the energy then is returned in that same vibration. So that's why we want to clear the ones that aren't true anymore, so that the ones that are true can then find their way back in and you can connect to them. Okay, replacement beliefs. So a lot of these are opposite to what we just cleared. These are higher vibrational frequencies. They're positive affirmations or mantras, and they tend to be the opposite of fear. So that you have specifically, that you have there for you, you can just write them down, like I can't, or it's not safe to, whatever it is, and then you can uh, write on the other side, or think of the opposite statement, like that I can do it. And even if you don't feel like you believe it, by taking that step to saying it and to the readiness to believe in something different, that sets the energy in. It changes, it makes a shift. Those words and that intention of believing or thinking or feeling differently than you do is a game changer. It really is. Just try it. You can try it and see. Here's the download symbol right over here, just like in a computer when you're downloading software or a file of some sort. And that is your signal for mentally saying yes to download these beliefs. So these are some common replacement beliefs. You can also just not download the ones that don't apply to you, that don't align with you. There might be some already that you've written down that you want to include. So here we go. Just close your eyes and take 3 just mindful breaths. And here we go. I accept, acknowledge, and allow the world to be so. The unknown is safe. I know what it feels like to feel safe, and that my child is safe, no matter the circumstances. I understand how to feel at peace and enjoy life in spite of the unknown variables. I'm ready for what is needed and necessary for each day and my child's future. I am hopeful. I feel hopeful and optimistic for my child's future. I am wealthy and abundant. My child is abundant. My child has everything they need when they need it. I know what to do and when to do it. And when it comes to my child's safety and well-being, I know what to do and when to do it. Okay, wonderful. More specific examples you may want to play around with this is an example. I trust that my child has discernment when they are at so-and-so's house. If you have a fear of, crime or break-ins, I trust my safety and security process that I know. I know that I trust that it's all as well. I just check the doors and windows, all as well. So you don't have to, another piece is that you don't have to agree, like, or approve of something to accept it. To first acknowledge it, and then accept it, calms the nervous system down. So we see a lot of stuff, right? So this first one, I accept, acknowledge, and allow the world to be so. Sometimes that's hard for people because we see stuff and we know stuff and suffering, and we witness suffering in the world, and all kinds of things. But if we accept that it's happening, it doesn't mean we agree. We just accept it. We accept and acknowledge that that's what's happening over here, or on the TV, or in my house, or whatever. So accepting calms the nervous system down. So your beautiful nervous system's job is to alert you of danger and to tell you things, wisdom, with that beautiful mind of yours. And so once you allow it to do its job, okay, brain, okay, nervous system, I accept that this horrible thing is happening. Once you do that, your nervous system calms down. Once your nervous system calms down, guess what? We can connect to our intuition. We can't do it when your nervous system is, in a state. So that is the rub. That's what makes it sometimes tricky for people. So we have to accept things as they are in order to find peace and calm. And we can do that. We can go out and be change makers. We can go out and do things, to support change and to make things different. But the first step is to accepting. So, at least from an energetic perspective and whatnot. So finding yourself in that relaxed meditative space and reflecting on these things. You can make your list of things that you just make you crazy, and just practice it. Like having that courage with yourself. It's just you to sit with those things and say, I accept that this is what's going on. I've made peace with this, or that person, or this thing that's happening. And it can be and you can accept it and find it horrific and disagree and be sad, or and this and that. And so, it's something I learned in therapy. Talk therapy is great too. We need all the things, right? All the things. All right, here we go. So that's your replacement beliefs. This is in your companion PDF. So don't worry, I'm not going to belabor this point, but I also don't want to trigger anyone. We all have our things. We know how the world is. We also know the beauty and joy and bliss in the world, and this just amazing, amazing world. Just it's incredible. But here are some things. Here are some example replacement beliefs from my life that you may find helpful. And again, here's a download symbol to do if you if you find any of these resonate. But just to kind of get the juices flowing, as they say, as you work out your replacement beliefs. And basically, again, it's just writing the opposite. So if you don't like a certain thing, you can write it down, how much you hate it, you don't like it, upsets you, makes you angry. And then you can, on the other side of the page, you can say, I accept and allow it. Or I trust and know that there could be another outcome or change or whatnot. So that's that. That's the therapy piece that I'm done with here. Because we all have our things, right? We have our little idiosyncrasy things that in particulars, especially when it comes to like traumatic things. And then we want, more than anything, those tend to be top of mind when we're parents, and we don't want those same scenarios to play out. So there you go. Thank you for being here today and being here for yourself, and being brave and courageous as you are, as a new paradigm builder, in this new earth that we're building. Right now, as you're listening to this, as I'm talking, we're creating this new world, and I believe in you, and I trust and know that you know what to do. You know how to trust yourself, to connect to your intuition, to believe in yourself, and to try new things. So, and I'm here for you. If you have any questions, just reach out. You can email me, and that's it. So on to the next recording, the next module.